Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back, and we are going to be going in and now taking a look at BISON on a kind of high level, right? How is he functioning? Where is he functioning? Is he going to do well for us? Is he not going to do well for us? Where can you use him? Where can you not use him? Okay, now you can see I've obviously got him to SSS plus 5 now. I've got him almost to fighting spirit level 40. He's up at 38, okay? And with regards to soul power, I'm still working on that, but we've got at least plus 80 here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him into, I guess, what you would call PvP to actually kind of see how he functions against high level teams. Now obviously it's difficult for me because of my power level, so there is only reasonably one place where I can do that and actually get a challenge that will show you what this guy is actually like, and it is here. I'm going to take him into Battle Royale because in Battle Royale I'm not being matched against people who are less powerful than me. In fact, it's usually the other way about, okay? So we're going to take a look at him in here first of all. So when it comes to like PvP and BISON, okay, I'm running with the sort of idea that you are not going to want to weaken any of your existing teams that work well, okay? So on that team there, you could see that they had Vega and BISON on the same team, okay? That does actually work. I've tried that. It does actually work, okay? But the thing is, you don't need him on a team with Vega. If you're going to do Showdown, you would actually want to try to take advantage of a character like BISON to make a team that isn't already super strong better, okay? So putting him on a team with Vega to me seems pretty redundant, because if you've already got a good Vega setup, you're not going to want to put BISON on a team with Vega, okay? Now that also leaves you with the other dilemma, which is you're not going to put Zangief onto a team with him either, because you're going to be running Zangief on your Vega team, which means unfortunately it's probably going to be quite hard for you to set up a BISON team for Showdown, which is the important PvP mode where you get to go first, okay? So to me, the best logic you can go with is to go with a team that is likely to do decent damage and going to be hard to kill. That way, BISON is going to get a chance to get his revivals kicking in, you're going to be getting his boosts from his passive and all that type of stuff, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use units who have either a revival mechanic or a do not fall below 1 HP mechanic, okay? So with BISON, I'm going to put on our boy Ryu, very strong unit, very powerful, does a lot of damage, and just for this first example, we're going to run with a Gouken, okay? Now, obviously, if we face off against a Vega, Gouken would just die. So what I'm going to do for my example is I'm going to put on Virgil. I'm going to put Virgil onto Gouken. That means both Gouken and Ryu will not fall below 1 HP for a period of time, okay? Now, because of that, I think we're really going to be relying on our boy BISON for doing damage, so we will throw up a Ryu up top, give him a bit of a boost, and in case we do match up against a Vega, we'll leave our athlete Chun in the back slot. That way, when she comes in to do her move, she will put in that kind of blocking range attacks. I've not tried this team yet, but the logic here is we've got 2 units on here that will extend survivability. BISON himself will not be getting anything particular from them, so he should be kicking off his passive quite a bit, okay? Now, there is a bug in the game at the moment where sometimes the passive doesn't activate. We shouldn't see that because I believe the trigger for that is silence. But we do also have that issue where his passive animation lasts longer than 3 seconds, so he can die during his passive. Some people think that's what they're going to fix with the bug fix. I'm not so sure, because the bug fix specifically says his passive does not activate. It does activate when he dies, but hopefully this will be enough for him to use his passive a couple of times. Now we're going to face off against someone quite high leveled here. This is the only conceivable place that I can do that, okay? Now again, this team actually is slightly breaking my own rules, because I would not put Athlete Chun on this team. if I were running it for Showdown, I would not have Athlete Chun on this team, simply because I would have her on my V Vega team, because that team works, okay? It works. It's pretty much, for me anyway, it's unbeaten in Showdown, and basically making sure that the only team that can beat my V Vega team is a V Vega team, and I've got to guard against V Vega. I don't have to guard against anything else, I've just got to guard against another V Vega, and the way I do that is by having 2 units in the team that block range. Okay, so now there you go, this is like the stereotypical team. This is going to give us a good idea if our boy Bison is actually going to be a V Vega counter or not. See there, the first hit will not kill people, which is good. He gets off his super. Did I actually set the combo? I did set the combo, that's fine. Okay, so that's everyone's kicked in their do not drop below a certain amount of HP threshold. Bison's kicked in his passive, he's done his passive once, and you can see that in that run there we did actually beat that team. Done pretty well, good survivability, decent damage. They obviously vastly outpowered me by quite a bit, and we didn't actually get to go first. Okay, now that was a slightly unrealistic example, because again, I would not run Chun on this team. Okay, so because I wouldn't run Chun on this team, I need to decide who would I run on this team. Okay, because I need to make sure they're obviously surviving and they're doing pretty well when it comes to not dying, essentially. Okay, and I've got to essentially make sure that they've got enough healing that they won't just die. So I think the best option would probably be to use Selena, is who I'm going to say. We'll go with Summer Elena. So we'll put her onto here, and we're going to change the combo slightly now, and we'll go with this. Technically speaking, Goken would probably be better doing the C2 because he'll up survivability, but at the same time I think we need the damage from Ryu to kind of see how he's going to go, right? So we'll leave everything else exactly the same. We probably will not get to go first, it's not to be unexpected, but again, I've removed maybe one of the things that would have prevented V Vega from just being able to chew through this team, which is obviously our Athlete Chun-Li. But again, as I stated, when I'm testing teams based on, would I run this team in Showdown? And if I have to take away units from a team that is proven to work well, I'm not going to do it. Okay, so Athlete Chun's off the table, Zangief is off the table, and obviously for me anyway, our Rich Honda is not. Our base Honda is off the table. Units that still does leave, however, is units like Rich Honda. We could potentially put Rich Honda on this team, and maybe that's something that I'll do in a minute. So this will be an interesting matchup. We're facing off against another Bison team, and as I suspected when I was reviewing the unit initially, both of them do trigger their passive straight away, and both of them are in a kind of sequence of attacks. I would say that my team's more likely to survive here, to be honest, because I've got more units who can survive that whole don't drop below 1 HP, and you can see again that actually it did come up trumps, it did do pretty well, and we won again. So far we're looking pretty good. This is like testing. I've not done this, this is me just trying this stuff out for the first time. So let's say we take off Goken, and let's say we put on Rich Honda instead, right? Not going to change too much there, okay? But a lot of people are not going to have Ryu. So what we're going to do there, we need someone who can either fill the C2 slot or a decent unit that can come in and do something for the C3 slot. Now that makes things a little bit trickier, because obviously we are now talking about units who could die. So let's say we go with this guy here, right? We're going to go with Leonardo. Right now there's nothing on this team that I would be taking away from my V Vega team. I would be taking away from my Turtles team, but I'll be honest, in PvP I'm not sold on the Turtles just yet, but I'll try it out with Leonardo. And again, I've put Virgil on him to prevent him hopefully dying straight away. For a team looks like this, I would probably change the combo somewhat, where we'll probably look at running something along the lines of this. The argument could be here that maybe using Honda's C2 there would actually be better, but for that I would need to essentially just have Bison being someone who's just standing there. That's his only job, would be just standing there, right? So let's see if this one, we've took out Ryu, we've given Leonardo the ability to not drop below 1 HP, which guarantees we're going to get our Bison kicking in his passive. Again, this is like massively overpowered teams that I'm facing off against here. It's doing better than I expected. I actually, honestly, when I started recording this video, I thought he was just going to get scalped, absolutely scalped. But he hasn't. He's done pretty well so far. See how he goes this time. Why do you need to take so long, game? Okay, another stereotypical team that you might see a lot in PvP. They'll get to go first, which is good for what we're kind of looking at here. So we'll get to go first. Okay, coming in. We've lost Bison straight away, so realistically, no matter what happens here, it's not really representative of anything. If Bison's passive is the way it's supposed to be, then that's just something that can happen, right? So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll try one more time, because again, you do have the issue that if Bison's passive is working as intended and they are simply fixing the times it doesn't trigger correctly, then this is something you will face with this guy. He can just get chopped up. And the combo that I've actually seen that is most what's the word I'm looking for? It starts with a C. Consistent. What's the most consistent at doing it is actually Free Vega followed up by Athlete Chun C1. I don't know what it is about the two of them, but that combo, the C1 and her, sorry, his super and her C1, he's usually dead before the end of it. So again, they're getting to go first. Leonardo stayed alive. Leonardo's dead. Honda's very chonky though. Honda can do a lot of damage. And we survived again. So he could be a counter to V Vega. I mean, this is a very hard mode to make progress on at this level. They are extremely powerful. They've got really high leveled fighting souls, really high leveled EX moves. You can see they're going quicker than me, which means that their EX moves are faster than my EX moves. And we're still kind of coming out on top. I mean, for me, I honestly feel like probably the ideal team is this that I had going before. I actually think that this may well be, I don't want to say the perfect setup, because I feel like that would maybe be a bit of a stretch, but more so than Gouken, I feel like this team is probably going to consistently get results. But obviously if you look at this team, it's got extremely hard to get characters, right? Extremely hard to get characters. Do I think he is better than V Vega? You might think I'm going to say no because of that short I put out. I honestly don't know. That's the honest answer. I totally thought coming into this video I was going to be saying yes, he's not better than V Vega. But quite clearly on the right setups, he can be. Now this is a setup I think he'll die straight away, and if he does die straight away, you'll see what happens. What happens is Vega will launch his super, immediately followed by Athlete Chun doing her thing, and Vega and Bison will be dead. This time he didn't die. He did die. Right. Yeah. See, it seems to be fairly consistent that that happens. I'm not 100% sure of the reason for it, but it does seem to quite consistently happen. Who has got the strength to hold out here? It's going to be our boy, Regal Honda. So, I mean, again, you can see on that team there that he didn't hold out. But again, look at the difference in power. I mean, we're talking like a huge gulf in power here, right? But we'll do one more. I'm wasting diamonds here. I'm wasting diamonds. What I will say on bossing, he's not really coming off as a bossing unit to me just yet. That I feel like is probably down to combo, to be honest. I feel like it's probably down to the combo. I've not quite found an ideal combo for him yet, because the other teams are scoring well, so I wouldn't take anything off of those teams to have Bison being on the teams. But so far in PvP, I would say that he's shown himself up pretty well. He's definitely shown himself up pretty well. And possibly, if this is not already my team that I used in Showdown, which it might be, I'm not sure, I would probably use something like this, because again, the whole gimmick behind this team that I'm going for is making sure that he's getting a chance to proc his passive, getting a chance to do his passive, and that's where a lot of his strength's coming from. So he shouldn't die here. I don't believe he should die here. I think we're okay there. Vega will pop, but I don't think Vega should kill anyone just yet. And there we go. I don't think that's a good team though. That team that was coming up, whoever the bot is that this is based off of, I don't really think that's a good team. But you can obviously see that, yeah, I mean, at least on these runs anyway, he actually was countering V Vega pretty damn well. And to be honest, it's going to be really hard to see an example that's better than this, and I say that because I'm facing like the highest level units I can face off against, which is in Showdown. It's auto mode, which is what you're going to get when it comes to Showdown. Sorry, it's Battle Royale, which is like the closest equivalent you're going to get to Showdown, because you don't play Showdown, it's done automatically. Do I have that as my team? No, I don't. Maybe. So what I would do is I would probably, see, here's the issue, I don't really think I would want to take my Virgil off of there. I don't really think I'd want to do that. But I think from looking at that, I would probably be quite happy to do that though, and probably do that and move him to there, because I think he would survive anyway, and I think I've done the combo like that. So I think I'd be quite happy to set that as my Showdown team now, because it did seem to perform pretty damn well. So I'll see how Showdown goes, but I mean he's definitely looking good. He's definitely looking good. I think it's really going to depend on the setup that you're facing off against, as it should be. He can be killed by a good V Vega team, which so far seems to be what I would naturally run for a V Vega team anyway, which is going to be Athlete Chun on the same team as V Vega. But I think he done himself pretty well there. I think he done himself pretty well, looked pretty good, looked very strong, and the results have came out differently from I expected. I thought this was maybe going to go a different way, and it absolutely didn't. So high level Bison, he's actually looking pretty damn good. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I've been Hayzink, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.